Hello, everybody. Welcome to the decks of the weekend, where I highlight the decks that caught my attention among the format that I play the most. As you might have noticed on the channel, I am not really focusing very much on Arena. In fact, I haven't opened that client in a long time. So I'm going to instead focus on other formats. I'm going to make sure that you're going to have every week Modern, of course, but also Pioneer and Legacy. I think those videos did very well on my channel, so I think there's people interested in those formats over here. So, yep, here we are. And also Pauper. Sorry, I haven't mentioned Pauper, but that's another format that I'm going to feature today, in fact. Alright, let's begin with the deck that we have in front of us, and that is the Teamer Creativity that Sam Rolfe, one of the active best player in the world, has used to win the Modern Challenge on Sunday, and he used the deck that Gabriel Nassif came second with last weekend. The deck is relying around creativity, indomitable creativity, X red, red, red. You target your creature or artifact, and you get Archon in play. You build the deck without any other creature, so you target the treasure token from Prismari, Goblin Shaman, or treasure from the Fable. You target your Crab, your Clue, and most importantly, you target the Dwarf Mine token. This deck is actually executed plan pretty simply. You have to, survive, make game object, and then target them with your creativity. You're gonna find this video on Wednesday on the channel, and yeah, the Cyber has Emrakul in case your opponent has a Necromancia on the Archon, as well as Mill, of course, Bazeju to recur with Ren. We have seen various lists of this deck. Initially it was 4-color with Ren and Teferi, and now we've seen Grixis on my channel a few weeks ago. And now Teamer. So yeah, people are trying to make the creativity deck work. I still don't think it's a tier 1 deck, but definitely cool to see it winning. Notably, things that happened over the weekend in Modern is on Saturday, 3 Burn deck made top 9, and on Sunday, 4 Hammer Time made the top 5. In fact, first place is Sam Rolfe, and then 4 Hammer Time placed 2, 3, 4th, and 5. So that's something to say about the metagame, of course. Living End kind of downshifting, Blur and Murktide going up, and things like that. Very, very interesting, just rotation of the Modern metagame. Super cool. Alright, let's go on to Pioneer, where another cool deck came in second place. If you've seen my last Saturday video, I played a Bant Company, and this deck is also a deck that stops the curve at turn 3, but instead, it's much more aggressive. It's mono-white humans. No Pyre of Heroes, as I've often seen, but instead, we got just a curve of creature, Hopeful Initiate, Dauntless Bodyguard, Third Inspector, even Kitheon, all the way from Magic Origins. We got Tali's Lieutenant to pump them all. We got Thalia, Aspirant. Very similar to the historic mono-white humans deck that used to be a thing. And I guess it was a deck collected company, whereas this is mono-white. You have 4 Mutavolt, much better than Faceless 7. There's also another interesting card. That's Brave the Elements. Not really a thing that you see very much. And it makes so that all your white creature get protection. And that's a big deal. If your opponent plays mono red or mono green, you can just let all your team go through. Very, very cool. Brave the Elements. A couple of one-off that are interesting. One is Extraction Specialist. This card is seeing play all the way to Legacy now. Just reanimating a Talon's Lieutenant is huge, as well as reanimating a Thalia, for example, or even an Aspirant. Like, all these cards have are very relevant, even if they don't attack or block. So Extraction Specialist, even a second one in the sideboard. We have Archon Lemuria, Tomic. Tomic is mostly here for the Thespian stage that cannot target the Lotus Field. Selfless Spirit against Supreme Verdict, Resting Pepegas against the many graveyard decks around, Treasure Cruise, Containment Priest is for the Phoenix deck, and then we got some P-Hole to round it out. So that's your non-company aggro deck, because very often we see these decks being collected company-wise, whereas this mono-white humans goes just 1, 2, 3. Again, I'm going to be playing this deck this week, so definitely stay tuned on the channel to check it out. And finally, to round it out, we're going to have Pauper. Pauper is in a very, very strange place right now, because it's weird. Pauper right now, the paper format doesn't reflect the the paper format doesn't reflect the online format, because in paper we have a card that doesn't exist on Magic Online. I'm gonna actually show it to you in face because I built this deck yesterday. So I'm gonna bring it in. This weekend we have a tournament in Bologna, and I'm gonna play some side events, maybe even Pauper. That's this card. Name is Aroca Furtivo, and it's a 4-mana 1/4 flyer that makes you gain the initiative. Initiative is a very good mechanic in Pauper, similarly to Monarch, but even better because you can get it back. Your opponent doesn't gain any value immediately. As well as the gates being very expensive. In fact, Basilisk Gate right now doesn't even you cannot even buy it. You can't even purchase it at the bots because of yeah, I mean they just didn't put it enough copies, and it's all in the treasure chest. Weird economy of Magic Online makes so that you can't really play these cards. So the Magic Online metagame doesn't reflect the paper metagame at all. Yet a very big change happened to Pauper. You can see how many things make Pauper change all the time, and that is a very big change. It's Monastery Swiftspear. Monastery Swiftspear is now a Pauper legal card. It used to be uncommon in Concept Archy or Iconic Master, and now common in the Double Master. The goal of this deck actually was very good even before Monastery Swiftspear. Now it puts it to another level. You have Kiln Fiend and you have Festival Crusher. Those two cards rewards you for playing spells. So you have cards like Mutagenic Growth, Postal Blessing, Metamorphose. Those are all free spells almost. You have Ancestral Anger, that very good. It gives your Kiln Fiend Trample to make it like one shot. And even if you don't have Ancestral Anger, you can give it Trample with Tumor Battle Rage or Crush Through. So you really just deal a lot of damage out of nowhere with this deck. You play 3 bolts only. Very weird. This deck came third in the challenge. I don't have the results of the Sunday challenge, so it's only for Saturday. But definitely a very interesting. 1 copy of Fire Blast. You don't want to draw 2 because sometimes you're just on 2 lands with this deck. You draw 1. Your opponent's on 4. Boom, Fire Blast you. In the cyber, very important cards: Flaring Pain. Damage can't be prevented because a Pauper card is Prismatic Strands. And this card is played in the Boros tokens. So you choose a color and you prevent all the red mana, so Flaring Pain counters that. But at the same time, there's also Fog. Turbo Fog is another archetype, and you want a Flaring Pain. Yes, exactly. Gates are in chests, but they're very rare and very expensive. But again, it's not just expensive, you just can't buy them. Initiative cards just don't exist on Magic Online. So, for 2 reasons, now Pauper is much different than Paper Pauper. Unfortunately, I don't have any tournament to play in paper because the league finished. So I don't have any experience to tell you. But on this weekend in Bologna, I'm trying to play some Pauper, and I have my Jeskai Blink deck with Cleansing Wildfire and Ephemerate to play with some 1/4 guys. So yeah, that's it for the decks of the weekend. I got lots of content to come every day on the channel on Magic Online. Thank you for watching.